the Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment. You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the stat boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dori Lou. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to another edition, our official kickoff for NFL football week here on Stat Boy Sports Bar, featuring Stat Girl Dori Lou. Producer Jeff is in the control room, back in his spot for this week. Again, thank you, James, for the last 2 weeks helping out in producing. We got plenty to talk about, 90 minutes or so, but remember, get out of here as quick as you can to keep going on this wonderful Tuesday in early September. Remember, if you want us to mention stuff, super chat. You guys did a great job on that one super chat 2 weeks ago. Let's keep the party going.
Always a party.
It always is in the Stat Boy Sports Bar, especially when there's a football party. We'll talk about that later in the show. Let's start off with, as we always do, with golf. Now, the men's tournaments, of course, have stopped for the season, but that means the Ryder Cup is coming up. So what is the Ryder Cup? Basically, it is a battle between the United States and Europe. It's kind of like the Stanley Cup of golf, if you think about it. Here's what they do. They play match play. What is match play? Match play is where instead of trying to score the lowest score overall on a course, each hole of the 18 is worth 1 point. If you win the hole over your opponents, you earn a point. If you tie the hole, then you're all square, or you could be 1 up or 2 up, or maybe even 3 up. On day 1 and day 2, they play alternate shots, and they play better ball. Alternate shot is when the golfers compete in teams. There's only 1 ball, and they take turns. So if Dori and I were a pair on the golf course,
Heaven forbid.
Yeah. And she drove first and she hit a beautiful tee shot right into the fairway. It would be up to me to get the ball on the green. Yeah, right. Or let's say if I come up and I get the ball on the green, it would then be up to her to put it in the hole. Better ball is when all the players play their own ball. So Dori and I would have our own golf ball, and we would all play. And whoever does the best gets the hole. And over the 3 days, there are 24 possible points between the matches, and you need to at least win half to be the winner of the Ryder Cup. Europe has been going crazy. Europe always beats the U.S. The U.S. hasn't won a Ryder Cup for a very long time. Team USA is set. We will report on that next week. Hey, look who's back in the sports bar, brothers.
Welcome back.
How are you feeling, bro? How you been?
I'm all right.
You all right?
Had a quite a little scare there, huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
This is your moment right now. If you want to
go, what I want to do is I want to take the time to thank the people who reached out and checked up on me and supported me all through having brain surgery. I'm doing okay. I'm back and I'm ready to get into this. It's opening week, It's a lot of excitement. It was a long weekend. I wasn't supposed to go back to work, but I ended up going back to work anyway. And it turned out to be longer hours than I was supposed to work. So that didn't help. And then I watched that game Sunday, and that just took the rest of the energy I had in me out of me. But we'll get there.
But overall, you're okay.
I'm good. I'm ready.
All right.
We're good.
We're so happy to see you back. I'm so glad you're doing well. And
thank you. Thank you to YouTube. YouTube been every step of the way. I can't thank y'all enough.
Yep. I bet you have a wicked scar, though.
Oh, man. We'll talk about
that. After it's healed.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Now that Zach is here, let's continue on. Dori, tell them what happened. What did the ladies do on the links with women's golf?
Let's see. The ladies were in Portland, Oregon for the Portland Classic, and your winner was Jeanette Wanasayan. Yes, I did look up the pronunciation because that's becoming a thing for me. And just a few interesting notes with that. If I can get my notes up here. Sometimes I really hate computers.
Yeah.
Okay. Rather, I hate my lack of finesse with them. How's that? So French player Perrine Delacour shot a 9 under 63 to lead the first round of the Portland Classic on a rainy day. She opened her round with a birdie, then went on a 5 birdie streak as she finished front 9 and 6 under par. 3 more birdies came on the back 9. Hot on her heels was Gina Kim. She scored 8 birdies in her first round. In the second round, Perrine maintained her lead by shooting under 67. In the third round, Megan Kang, who won the tournament last week, remained consistent by scoring a 6 under 66, which she also recorded in the previous 2 rounds. But then a 19-year-old tie player, got that? 19 years old, Jeanette Wanasayan shot 9 under 63 to come out of nowhere and win the tournament. Great job, Jeanette. Keep it going. 19 years old and doing this. We're going to see good things
from nowhere. I mean, she was on fire. Just you would turn around, birdie, one right after the other. I mean, it's amazing what she can do in her rookie year, folks. First year playing on the pros.
Definitely. So again, I mean, 19 years old, she's an up and coming to watch.
Indeed.
All right.
And now to the top 10.
The top 10 for our ladies. Number 1, still Miss Celine Boutier from France, who did not play in the Portland Open. Number 2, Ren Yen tied third. She tied for third place in the Portland Open. Lilia Vu is your third place from the U.S., and she tied for 4th. 4 is Jin Young Ko from Korea. She did not play. Our 5th place for the women is Hayu Jo Kim of Korea, and she tied for 21st in the Open. Number 6, Allison Corpus of the U.S. She missed the cut. She was there, but she missed the cut.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 7, Ayaka Fudru of Japan tied 26th.
Number 8.
Yeah, and then I just blanked on how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. Xiyao Janet Lin of China was a runner-up in the Portland Open. And Nelly Corda of the USA tied 14th. And Brooke M. Henderson, our number 10 from Canada, tied for 34th place in the tournament.
Well done, ladies. Good job. Up next, currently in tennis, the U.S. Open is taking place, maybe even right now, in New York. So what we have done this week for tennis is we're going to let you know what the top 10 players have done so far. Carlos Alcaraz is in the quarterfinals along with Novak Djokovic. The quarterfinals are being played. Djokovic is playing against number 9, Taylor Fritz. Daniil Medvedev, he's in the quarterfinals. He's going to play against number 8, Andrei Rublev. Number 4 and number 5, Holger Rune and Casper Ruud, they got eliminated early. Rune got eliminated in the first round to Roberto Carvalhais Baena, and Casper Rune got eliminated to Zhizhen Zhang. And my boy, Stefanos, he had a great first round matchup, but then along comes Dominic Stricker and takes him out in the second round. So then I found this out. Stefanos has a brother. His brother is Petros Tsitsipas. Petros is Peter, and Stefanos is Stephen. So if you want to go by their American names, it's Stephen and Peter Tsitsipas. But unfortunately, even that didn't go well for him. He got eliminated in the second round in the doubles tournament. So my boy is not doing very good in the U.S. Open. And Francis Tiafoe, he's in the quarterfinals as well. Let's take a look at the ladies.
All right. As we jump into the ladies, I'm looking at the schedule. Their next play is September 11th in San Diego. Is the next one on the schedule here that I'm seeing for the ladies. And we have, at this point for the U.S. Open, our first place, Iga Swiatek, was eliminated in the 4th round to Jelena Ostapenko. Number 2, Aryna Sabalenka made it to the quarterfinals. Number 3, Jessica Pegula was eliminated in the 4th round to Madison Keys. Number 4 is Elena Rybayenka, eliminated in the 3rd round to Sorano Cristia. Number 5, Ons Jabeur, also eliminated 4th round to Onwen Zhang. Number 6 is Coco Gauff, making it to the quarterfinals. Number 7, Caroline Garcia, eliminated in the 1st round to, I'm not sure on that name, Yafeng Wang. Trust me. Number 8, Maria Sakkari, also eliminated 1st round to Rebecca. I'm sorry, guys. All right. And Markita Vondrousova and Karolina Muchova both made it to the quarterfinals. Those 4 will be playing in San Diego. Nope, that's not right because Ons Jabeur is playing in San Diego. However, this is written up, figured out. Anyways, the 4 that your quarterfinalists for the women are Aryna Sabalenka, Coco Gauff, Markita Vondrousova, and Karolina Muchova. Good luck, ladies.
And it looks like Coco Gauff is the odds-on favorite at this point. She is just on fire. What was that, Jack?
Oh, yes. But the most disappointing thing about watching the tournament is watching how badly Venus Williams looked. That was seriously depressing.
Wow.
To coming up, her and Serena were the greatest thing.
Yes.
This is Serena in tennis. You had Andre Agassi for the men, John McEnroe, Tiger Woods was doing the golf thing, but everything was about Venus and Serena. And, now being aged, our generation won't get, to experience the Williams sisters in their prime. And seeing that kind of, it hurt my soul, man, because I loved Venus and Serena. So it was hard to watch.
Well, and that's why we have Coco Gauff now. I think if she's going to maybe continue what Serena started, and there was a Facebook short of her standing up for herself at the U.S. Open, bad calls being made. She called out the referee. Serena did that 3 years prior, and nuclear meltdown on the court, and it was one of the last times I saw Serena play. I mean, there were bad calls left and right. She took it to a whole new. She made John McEnroe's meltdowns look like a temper tantrum from a 2-year-old. To the way, I mean, it was a disaster.
Oh,
but
that just shows you how extremely passionate some of these athletes are when it comes to their sport and things being done fairly.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. So then next week we will give you the report on who wins the U.S. Open, and then next week they move on to the next tournaments in tennis.
All right. We know we don't have anything with soccer right now.
Nope.
They're done for the season, aren't they?
Well, until if there are some lesser known tournaments coming up, then soccer is pretty much done.
Right. Okay. All right. So moving on, we are jumping down to making not just left turns, occasionally right turns, and sometimes some scary crashes. It's time for NASCAR.
And we start with the Darlington playoff race with the Cookout Southern 500. There's your winner, Kyle Larson, number 5 in the Chevrolet for Hendricks Motorsports. And this win guarantees him to move on into the next round of the playoffs. You'll see that in the next graphic. Coming up in second place was Tyler Reddick in the number 45 Toyota for 23XI Racing. The last few, he had a good 0.6 of a second lead, Kyle over Tyler. So I guess they were maybe playing it safe at the end. Number 17 in the Ford for RFK Racing was Chris Boucher. In fourth place was the number 24 car, Hendricks Motorsports Chevrolet William Byron. Fifth place was Ross Chastain, also in a Chevrolet for Trackshouse Racing Team. The number 6 was in sixth place, Brad Kozlowski in a Ford for RFK Racing. Tyler's teammate for 23XI Racing in number 23, Bubba Wallace in a Toyota. Chase Elliott was in 8th place in the Chevrolet for Hendricks Motorsports. Ryan Blaney was in 9th place for Team Penske in his Ford. And Eric Jones was in the top 10 for Hendricks. Hendrick Motorsports took over not only this race, but they are there to show that the playoffs belong to them. If it's not a Chevy, it's a Hendricks.
A Hendricks Chevy. There you go. They have quite a few more races coming up. This coming up weekend on the 10th, the Hollywood Casino 300 in Kansas. Then September 16th, Bass Pro Shop night race at Bristol. This is when they will cut down to 12. And Stat Boy Mike and I will be there.
And
we've got our tickets.
I'm prepared. These will save your ears. Those won't.
Right now, I just have the phone ones.
I tried
Right
those
now, I
last
just
year.
have foam ones, but I'm going shopping for something more effective, or more efficient. How's that?
There you go.
Then let's see. Then they'll be in Texas. First is Talladega on October 8th. In Charlotte, they cut to 8. Then to the South Point in Vegas. NASCAR Cup Series at Homestead in Miami. Wait, no, yes, no. I can't see
fine.
some of my stuff here. Give me a second. Yeah, Miami. I was right. October 29th, they cut down to 4 for the championship at Martinsville, with your finale being November 5th in Phoenix. Now, just a quick note. Oh, we're not on Xfinity yet. I'll save it for Xfinity.
Well,
Go
I was
ahead,
going to ask
Jeff.
you, you said you got 2 weeks till Bristol?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. Dori, remind me, not tonight because crazy, but at some point tomorrow, remind me to send you that link for those earplugs my friend Cass sent me about wearing them to concerts, because they're also applicable for races as well. And they're like pretty much on the cheap, and they'll save you from having those big clunky cans on. Like I'm not against the cans because they're effective as hell, but they're also clunkier than shit. So
Yeah.
I
will.
think
I will.
they're fashionable.
they're good for Mikey because Mikey's our special boy, so it's okay.
What?
I
Did you
make
say
my
what?
message.
I can't hear a thing.
Jeff, ear protection.
Mostly
Got it.
There you go.
All right,
All
there
right.
it is.
Go ahead, Mike.
This is that's the playoffs for Xfinity. Can we do the actual race first, please?
If I find where you sent it to me, sure. Give me a second. I'm talking to them.
I sent that first.
Oh, well, that would be okay. Then it
It's
should
no
have gone
worries.
through.
It's okay. I
Hang on.
have my own copy here too, so it all works out beautifully.
Then
The Sport Clips Haircut Help a Hero 200 took place in the Xfinity Series. The winner of that race was the number 19 car of Denny Hamlin. Normally, he is the number 11 in the Cup Series, but in Xfinity, he is number 19. He drives a Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Second place went to Austin Hill, number 21, for RCR in his Chevrolet. Remember, RCR is our team in this version of our own Casa 3.0 studio, or the Casa Adjutant in Sevierville, Tennessee, as it is said. Hunter Nemechek took third place in his number 20 for Toyota for Joe Gibbs. The double aught of Cole Custer took fourth place in his Ford for Stuart Haas Racing. Fifth place went to Josh Berry in his Chevrolet. Is it JR Motorsports or Junior Motorsports?
JR.
They are Motorsports. Okay. Sixth place went to Herbst in the 98 car in his Ford for Stuart Haas Racing. Seventh place, number 7, Justin Allgaier in his Chevrolet for JR Motorsports. Sheldon Creed, almost said Austin Creed there. Because it was Austin Creed's birthday yesterday. That's why he didn't show up on Monday Night Raw. Sheldon Creed in the number 2 for Chevrolet. Here's another Cup racer going into the Xfinity. Kyle Busch in the number 10. When he's in Xfinity, he races for Colleague. When he's in the Cup playoffs, it's RCR. And number 11 rounds out the top 10, Daniel Herman, also for Colleague Racing. What is it?
Hemrick.
I apologize. Now, Xfinity Series, they are also in the are they in the playoffs? No, they have left, and that is coming up this weekend. In the they go to Kansas.
At the Kansas. It's the Kansas Lottery 300 in Kansas.
Yes, Austin Hill has the lead at 9 points, followed by John Hunter Nemechek at 9:45. Justin Allgaier is at 9:35. The double out of Cole Custer is at 8:61, and Sam Meyer is at 7:81. Those 5 drivers have locked in their spot. They are guaranteed to be in the playoffs. Josh Berry is in 6th. He has 765 points. Sheldon Creed is at 712, and Daniel Hemrick is at 711. He's probably having a Slurpee at this point. Chandler Smith is at 706. Riley Hurst is at 657. Parker Kligerman is at 656. And Sammy Smith rounds out the top 12. The next racer down, who's in 13th place, he is locked in, but I only put the top 12. After the Kansas Lottery, the Xfinity Series will be locked in, and they will do the playoffs just like the Cup Series. They have a couple races. They chop down to 8, then they chop down to 4 with the same format.
All right, just a couple little side. First of all, Denny Hamlin has actually just signed a multi-year contract with Joe Gibbs Racing for the Cup Series, so he's going to be around for a while. We have power rankings. Pat DeCola from NASCAR.com for the Cup Series that has Larson in the first spot, McDowell in the 16th spot for our championship players. My RCR car actually ranked number 9 right now.
Cool.
Well, we'll be watching those things. Will be changing weekly, as we know they do. And also, we reported and showed a few photos from a very interesting to watch, but scary at the same time crash that happened in Daytona with Ryan Preece doing a barrel roll and catching air in the infield, and he walked away he reported that he was fine and everything. He did have to go to the hospital and do a thorough they did a thorough check on him and make sure nothing was broken, bruised, damaged, any medical interventions that needed to be done. But he was back this past weekend at the race, at the Cup Series, and he was cleared to return for competition, although I don't know if he actually raced because I didn't look at the full results. But Ryan Preece is back.
Yes. There was no Truck Series this week.
Not the Truck Series, honey.
Nope, there was no Truck Series this week.
Yes, but Ryan Preece is not Truck Series.
Jeff was asking.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it. Yeah, there was no Truck Series this week. The trucks come back this coming Friday. I just had that information. They will be at the Kansas Speedway Friday, September 8th. We do not have their pole positions or anything set on that yet, but we will report on it. Report the results next week.
Yes. As far as the playoffs do go, again, Kyle Larson is locked in, so he's guaranteed to go to the round of 12. The 4 racers that are on the bubble are Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, Ricky Steinhaus Jr., and Michael McDowell. Bubba Wallace only needs to basically score a point better than Christopher Bell. That's why he has a -1 next to his name. So as long as he scores 1 point more than Christopher Bell, he can move out of the bubble, and would knock them down. As you remember, for each stage, you score up to 10 points, and then for winning the race, you earn 40 points. You just do not want to be those last 4 drivers. Otherwise, by the time you finish the race in Bristol and move on to Texas, there's only 12 left. And that is how NASCAR is going to go. Cool.
Ryan Preece, like I said, did race. I actually just found it here. He started in 34th and finished the race in the 28th position.
It's good that he got back in the car. I mean,
he jumped right back on the horse.
If you have not seen that video that's been out for 2 weeks, it's scientific and scary. That's what that'd be the hashtag, scientific but scary. it's like a Hot Wheel car. Just, it's just, you look at it and you think that a car cannot do that. Hollywood gets it wrong when they throw a car down a mountainside or when it's falling in midair. That's supposedly planned. This was real. This was as real as it could be, and that thing is just flipping side over side over side. It's fun to look at, but then you got to realize there's a human in there.
And this is one of the things we had discussed too, that with some of the new implements some of the things they've implemented in the last, I'm going to say decade. Actually, I think it's more closer to 2. They have increased safety features, the roll bars and roll cages that they've implemented in those cars. Their safety harnesses for buckling them in. They've done so many things to help keep these drivers safe when something like this happens, so that we don't have, unnecessary and tragic deaths in the sport anymore.
That's right. Did you get to see any of the race, Zach?
A little bit. Briefly.
I was at work. I'm always at work. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Work. All right. Let's take a look at the WNBA, which is going to finish up the regular season this week.
Yes, they are. So we are down to our playoff teams, are we not?
After this week, yes. There will be playoffs next week.
Yes. After this week, they go into their playoffs. As we know, the Las Vegas Aces clinched back in early August. They are 32-6. The New York Liberty 7. They clinched back August 11th. Connecticut. I can't get the words out. Sorry. Connecticut Suns clinched on August 20th, and they are currently 25-12. The Dallas Wings are 20-17. They clinched on September 1st. The Minnesota Lynx, who are currently 19-19, clinched on September 13th.
September 3rd.
I'm sorry, September 3rd. That's right. They just managed to do it just a couple days ago.
There you go.
All right. The Atlanta Dream and the Washington Mystics are tied at 17-20. The Dream are ahead with 82.8 points per game, and the Mystics are only at 79.9. The Los Angeles Sparks are 16-21. The Chicago Sky are 15-22, and the bottom 3 are not even in contention. There you go.
Oh, man.
The Sparks were so dominant their first few seasons, and now they are barely holding on to that final spot, because the top 8 get in and 5 are already in. So I don't. We all know about LA sports teams.
Yes, we do.
It's the LeBron James Cleveland effect.
Elaborate.
Once Candace Parker left LA, all hell was breaking loose. She was the LeBron James of LA.
It's also the genie's got herself spread so thin. She has ownership in so many things right now. It's just not any one thing's getting the specific focus. That's why the Lakers continue to struggle. That's why the wrestling company is what it is. That's why the Sparks are so bad. It's just the whole bus organization's a hot mess right now.
I understand that. Well, currently we have a couple of games going. We have just blanked. Los Angeles at Connecticut, and Connecticut is currently ahead 32-24 with 6:39 left in the second. Hold on.
Go ahead, you're fine. See, look at that.
my app did something funny. Okay. We also have Chicago at Indiana. Chicago was up 33-24 with 4:16 left in the second. And the other games, let's see. New York and Dallas are tonight. Washington and Phoenix are tonight. We've got Seattle and Atlanta tomorrow. LA and New York on Thursday. Indiana and Connecticut on Friday. Atlanta and Washington on Friday. Minnesota and Chicago on Friday. Seattle at Dallas. Vegas at Phoenix also are all Friday.
Oh. Phoenix does not need any more losses.
Not with a record like that, they don't.
No, they don't. I mean,
poor Brittany Griner, man.
Right? After everything she went through last year.
Exactly. After all she went through to come back and the season goes like that.
Yeah, 9-28. I mean, I think right now the Mercury, the Storm, and the Fever, they're playing for pride now.
Oh yeah.
They're playing for pride.
Absolutely. They have nothing to gain and not really much more to lose.
They have everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Everything to gain and nothing to lose. That's the one, yeah.
Boy,
so next week the playoffs will start, and we'll keep that up to date with brackets and everything else. Speaking of brackets, the FIBA men's tournament is already in bracket mode, but we do have some games that we did not report on. So let's take a look at those, please.
Bad Mikey. Bad stat boy.
I know, bad stat boy. Group A, the Dominican Republic and Italy had already advanced. In Group B, Serbia defeated South Sudan 115-83, and Puerto Rico defeated China 107-89. That allowed Serbia and Puerto Rico to advance into the second round. In Group C, the United States knocked off Jordan 110-62, and Greece defeated New Zealand, so that allowed both of them to move into the second round as well, as Greece defeated them 83-74. In Group D, Montenegro and Lithuania had already advanced. Dori Lou, go ahead and give them the bottom half of the first round, please.
You would do that to me. All right. The bottom half, or you want me to go?
With Group E.
Group E. Okay. So Germany and Australia both advanced. Group F, Georgia, the country of Georgia defeated Venezuela. Slovenia defeated Cape Verde, and Georgia and Slovenia advanced. There have been some updates since here, but we'll give you a few when we get there. Group G, Spain defeated
Iran.
Thank you. I can't read my screen. It's too little. I'm sorry. Brazil defeated the Ivory Coast. Spain and Brazil advanced. And in Group H, Canada and Latvia advanced.
So after the first...
Go ahead.
After the first round of play, they were regrouped into 4 more new groupings. Group I consisted of Italy, Serbia, Puerto Rico, and the Dominican Republic. Italy defeated Serbia 78-76. Puerto Rico defeated the Dominican Republic 102-97. Italy defeated Puerto Rico 73-53, allowing them to advance into the quarterfinals. And Serbia defeated the Dominican Republic 112-79. Out of that grouping, Italy and Serbia advanced. On to Group J.
Group J, the United States defeated Montenegro 85-73. Lithuania defeated Greece. Was that 92-87? 67? Yep. Oh, Mikey, what happened to your Greeks?
Do we just not want to play sports anymore? I mean,
you're having a rough year, okay? You're just having a rough year. We'll leave it at that. Montenegro then defeated Greece, and Lithuania defeated the U.S. However, the U.S. and Lithuania advanced to the quarterfinals.
In Group K, it was Germany, Georgia, Australia, and Slovenia. Germany defeated Georgia 100-73. Australia defeated Slovenia 91-80. Australia defeated Georgia 100-84. and Georgia defeated Slovenia 100-71. Even though Slovenia lost both of their Group K matches, they still got in. And finally, Group L.
Latvia, Spain,
Brazil,
Canada.
and Canada.
Brazil and Canada. Okay, so Latvia defeated Spain, then Brazil defeated Canada. Latvia defeated Brazil. Canada defeated Spain. Canada and Latvia advanced to the quarterfinals. And we had 2 quarterfinal games today. And we'll give you the full rundown on this week's games next on the next sports bar. But real quickly, the 2 games that happened today were Lithuania at Serbia. Serbia won 87-68. The second game was Italy at the U.S. The U.S. of A. won that one 100-63. Tomorrow we've got Germany at Latvia and Canada at Slovenia. Thursday matchups. The rest of the matchups are still to be announced.
So
or still to be determined.
So Team USA has already advanced into the semifinals.
The USA and Serbia have advanced so far.
And Serbia have advanced. The knockout stage was set, and they played because they're overseas. Of course, with the time difference, they air everything at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes you miss things. So by next week, everything will be put together. But those are the flags of the countries there, and USA is in. And they're gonna. Who knows? Maybe they'll go all the way. You never know.
Let's go. Never mind.
Unlike Team Greece, that's not doing very good.
Oh, poor Greece.
I know.
Poor Stan.
All right, let's do some baseball stuff, and then we'll take a. And then if Jeff, if you've got a break set up,
full game. Okay, that's enough.
It's a good one. I love that. I think that is my favorite, most famous baseball song. Unless you go with "I Love Lucy," nobody loves the ump. Classic baseball movie. Let's take a look at the current standings for MLB. The Atlanta Braves are the first team that 90 win mark. They are 90-46. Baltimore is 86-51, and the Dodgers are 84-52. The Tampa Bay Rays are 83-55. The Houston Astros are 78-61. The Seattle Mariners are 77-60. We have a tie between the Texas Rangers and the Philadelphia Phillies at 76-61, and the Milwaukee Brewers. Texas has 758 runs. Philadelphia is at 673. And Milwaukee is at an even 600. The Toronto Blue Jays round out column 1 at 76-62. In the middle, the Cubs are 74-64. The Red Sox are tied with Dori's Twins at 72-66. Cincinnati's at 72-68. Arizona's at 71-67. Miami is at 70-67. San Francisco is at 70-68. And they are at the above 500 threshold, as all the other teams are below that mark. The Yankees are at just under 500, 68-69. The Guardians are at 66-72. The Padres are at 65-74. And the downward spiral of the Angels continues on as they are in column 3. That is not where you want to be in this, especially in the last month of play. But they do have a run lead over the Pirates and the Mets, or over the Pirates anyway. They're both at 64-74. The Mets and Detroit Rock City are at 63-74. The Nationals are at 62-76. The Cardinals are at 59-78. The White Sox are at 53-85. And the Rockies are at 50-87. We have 2 eliminated teams right now. The Royals joined the Athletics. They are the Crimson Red. They are down at the bottom. They cannot go anywhere near the playoffs. So, but we have a good little stat news here. Dori Lou, go ahead.
I mean, but Dori, before you go, to be fair, Oakland can't go anywhere anyway for another couple of years.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. So, being the Twins fan that I am, Royce Lewis of the Minnesota Twins we reported last week that he did something. It's the first time in franchise history. He had grand slams in back-to-back games. He's done it again. He's did a grand slam last night's game against the Guardians. So this makes 3 grand slams in 8 games. Yeah, right. And Josh,
runs, folks.
Josh, I'm so sorry about your Guardians. That 20, that deficit, I feel for you. However, I will tell you from looking at the scores right now that the Guardians are fighting back because they are in the top of the 6th, I think, at the moment, tied at 2.
We saw that ticker.
What do you expect?
They're fighting back. Your current division leaders, not much has changed. The AL Central is still my beloved Minnesota Twins. AL East is the Baltimore Orioles. Your AL West is the Seattle Mariners. In the National League, you've got Atlanta at night. Atlanta leading the East. Milwaukee is the AL Central, and the Los Angeles Dodgers lead the NL West.
As they should. My Angels aren't doing it.
Well, and your Angels are not National League. Your Angels are.
Well, I know, but I'm not going to give up on my team. I'm just not going to do it. But I mean, I think they are just so worried that they're going to lose Ohtani-san to free agency at the end of the season. You know, Trout had the injury. You know, he comes back. Ohtani-san goes out. You know, Ohtani's going to honor his contract, of course. We know that that's the honorable thing to do. And whoever picks him up is going to have a great run in the 2024 season. You know, it's that easy. So
we had reported previously about Ohtani-san tearing his UCL. That's why he's not pitching right now. Nope. And it looked like he might be going in for another Tommy John surgery. However, he won't be pitching again this season. Elbow surgery is the most likely outcome, but it might not necessarily be a second Tommy John.
Those are 2 words that a baseball pitcher never wants to hear.
This tear is in a different place than his previous UCL injury. So it might be that's about as much as I have though right now. Apparently he's got high spirits, he's in a good place, extremely positive, getting a lot of good feedback from doctors and stuff, so that it shouldn't be too much.
Yep. Ain't that the truth? Indeed, that is the truth. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, we're going to continue on, and we're going to go with okay, no break, fine, no break. We're just going to plow on right through. And up next is
we are on a little time constraint today, as our lovely producer has another obligation. So up next,
let's go to college football, or do we want to do hockey?
Do the college football before we get into any of our fantasy stuff.
But we also have hockey news. Well,
I don't have college football that you sent me, Mike.
I thought I did send that. Okay, I can rattle them off. College football. Okay, then we'll do hockey first. Then we'll go ahead and do hockey. We'll go hockey, then college football, then pro football. So, hockey.
Okay, go ahead.
We did it last year. It's what started off the whole fantasy craze, and it's coming back this year. The fantasy hockey season is back, season 2. It's a custom rules total point lead, but this year we're bringing in head-to-head matchups. On next week's show, the rules will be revealed. Haven't decided on what date to do the draft. If things gel together well and everyone gets together, we can do the draft on September 19th, but absolutely for certain, it can be started no later than the 26th. The season play starts on 2 weeks after that, so that'll be we'll be drafting the whole time. We just need to get everything put together, and we'll do a few rounds live on that show, and then we'll continue going from there. But I'm very proud to say that with the success from last season, we're bringing it back. You know, Renegade is the defending champion with his team. We've also decided that brand new season, brand new team, brand new players, and a lot of brand new rules. Initially, I wanted to keep all the teams the same. We took a vote and said, nope, new season, new teams, new players. That's the beauty of it.
It's not necessarily brand new rules. We're making some adjustments and maybe adding a few things. Mikey has taken suggestions on some possible improvements we could do for our fantasy league. Indeed. And that will all be rebuilt coming up soon.
Next week.
And for what it's worth, I'm definitely off next Tuesday. I don't know about the 19th yet. I'll know that, of course. As Mikey knows, schedules come out Friday. So.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Also,
yes, we have some very yes, this is big hockey
news for the hockey. There is a new professional women's hockey league that will be debuting January of 2024. Their inaugural draft is going. We've got 6 franchise teams: New York, Boston, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Montreal, Toronto, and Ottawa. Their draft will take place September 18th of this year. Their names and logos and everything is still being worked on, but this kind of dissolved. I forgot what they were now. Hold on, because I don't have it.
They are evolving from a previous league, and when
2
Dori
previous
said,
leagues.
Yes, this is huge. This is extremely wonderful. I am very happy that this is happening, because I've said many times, I truly believe that there are a lot of things that the women can do that men already do. Now they get to play hockey. This is amazing.
Yes, and overdue. There have been some women hockey leagues in the past, but there have been various issues with them. Nope, it's professional. Okay, this is Professional Women's Hockey League. All right, because I don't have my notes right in front of me. So this new professional hockey league, 3 teams in the U.S. and 3 in Canada. They plan on streaming each game digitally, but also hopes for TV coverage. Teams may not play all 12 home games in the same venue. They plan on having a presence at other major NHL events like the All-Star Weekend in Toronto and its outdoor games.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's going to happen if they decide to pull a Kevin and Sammy that happened at the pay-per-view? What if they decide to drop the gloves? How's that going to go?
Well, just wait and see what happens. I mean, hey, women can scrap just as good as men can. Come on.
That's a given. But to see them do it in hockey pads? Woo!
Hey, how many hockey games have you watched for the fights? Thank you. Enough said. The Professional Women's Hockey League is being fully funded by Dodgers co-owner Mark Walter and his wife Kimbra. The Mark Walter Group purchased the assets in June to effectively dissolve the Premier Hockey Federation in order to launch the Professional Women's Hockey League, the only pro women's hockey league now in North America. There was a second one. There was a multi-year feud between that's what I was looking for. There was a multi-year feud between the Premier Hockey Federation and the Women's Hockey Players Association. They were unwilling to join. Basically, it came down to the players from both U.S. and Canada were unwilling to join one or the other, lacking faith in their business models. So this is what has come of that. They've been working with Mark Walter Group and Billie Jean King Enterprises for over a year to create this new league.
And when they start playing,
And
we're definitely going to report on it.
oh, definitely.
We've got the LPGA, we've got the WNBA, we had the Women's World Cup. Now we're doing women's hockey.
When they decide to bring in women's football, we'll be right there too.
Women's football other than the lingerie league. That's not cool.
The lingerie league anymore, but it's still the LFL, but it's not the lingerie league anymore, and it's way more violent than it used to be.
That's not women's football, okay?
Women can scrap.
They can scrap, absolutely. But
those women hit harder than men.
That's where I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna be like, why?
Well, they put real clothes on them now, so.
Oh, full jerseys and football pants and everything and cleats?
Well, not pants, but it's still.
It's still feminine, but football without being trashy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, good job with the ladies. All right. Before we get to the pros, let's talk about what happened in the college league. The top 25 took place. Georgia's still number one.
Boo.
I'll quickly rattle. I'll go from 25 to 1. 25 is Iowa. 24 is Tulane. 23 is Texas A&M. 22 Miss. 21 North Carolina. This is all from the AP, by the way. These are not my personal rankings.
Oh, whoa.
Yep.
You gotta update that.
It's already been updated?
Yes, I got you. It's right here. All right. So
go ahead.
25, we have the Clemson Tigers.
Okay.
24 is the Tulane Green Wave.
Mm-hmm.
23 is the Texas A&M Aggies.
Right.
22 is Deion Sanders' Colorado Buffaloes. What a great story there.
So they end up winning, and then now they're in the top 25. Okay.
Yep. Duke, who upset Clemson last night, is at 21.
Mm-hmm.
Ole Miss is at 20.
Uh-huh.
The Wisconsin Badgers are at 19.
Got it.
The Oklahoma Sooners are at 18. The North Carolina Tar Heels are at 17.
Okay, that's a drop.
The Oregon State Beavers are at 16.
They moved up.
Kansas State's at 15.
Moved up.
LSU's at 14. We're not going to talk about that.
I have a quick question. If they are 0-1, why are they in 14th?
We were 7. We dropped. Wait, hold on. I do believe we were 7.
Good question, though, because believe me, every time the top 25 comes out and football comes
I'm sorry. We were 5.
Yeah, you were 5.
We were 5 14. And dropped to 14 because we got obliterated in the second half. But, that's neither here nor there. 13 is the Oregon Ducks.
Mm-hmm.
12 is the Utah Utes.
They moved up.
11 is the Texas Longhorns. 10 is my Notre Dame Dame Fighting Irish. I was going to say Green Wave. That's terrible. 9 is your Tennessee Volunteers.
We're in the top 10. Thank goodness.
Number 8 is the Washington Huskies.
Yes.
Fun fact, Washington is in the top 10 for the first time in 23 years.
There you go.
Yep.
Penn State is at 7.
Right.
USC is at 6.
Right on.
The Ohio State, as Jeff says, is at 5.
That's okay.
Those terrible, oh man, I'm still bone hurt about Sunday. But, the Florida State Seminoles, who put on a hell of a second half, are sitting at 4.
Right.
Alabama's at 3.
Right.
The Michigan
Roll Tide.
Wolverines. The Michigan Wolverines are at 2. Fun fact about that, their coach is suspended for the first 3 games, which
Yes.
I got a fun story about that. And to round it out, number 1 is the Georgia Bulldogs. Mike,
I'm excited to see the Washington Huskies in the top 10. I actually still have my sweatshirt from when they were the top dogs in 1991.
nice. Mike, do you know why Jim Harbaugh is suspended?
No clue.
During COVID,
Oh,
Jim
this is
Harbaugh took a
Keep
recruit
a few
for a
years ago. Keep
hamburger.
this in mind. Keep this in mind. This was during 20.
Okay.
He took a recruit for a hamburger during COVID, and that is against protocols, and he was suspended 3 games for that.
But look how many years it took for them to do it.
Yep.
A hamburger.
A hamburger. Yep. Took a recruit for a hamburger. Yep.
Jeff,
Oh.
single shot, please. I'm going to rant. I'm going to rant.
No.
Oh,
We don't have
come
time
on.
for rants. We're on a time constraint tonight.
Oh,
But I'm looking here. Duke
It's a
beat
Harbaugh,
Clemson
brother.
for the
Like,
first
seriously, it's not
time.
even worth it.
Yeah,
it's a
it is
freaking
worth it.
hamburger.
That's not
He's
the
a fucking
point.
buffoon.
Sure
Duke
it
beat
is.
Clemson. Michael, Duke beat Clemson for the first time since 2004.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Ooh.
Thank you, Jeff. But I think Dori put me. You didn't need to do that. Dori puts me in check all the time, even when we're not playing chess.
This week we get Texas versus Alabama Saturday. Number 11 versus number 3.
It's only week 2.
And that's the game of the week.
Okay, well, I want to know what's going on with both, of course, Tennessee, but got to watch those Fighting Irish too.
It's only week 2, and we get the Longhorns versus the Roll Tide. Come on.
Yep.
You got to let it cook a little bit here.
And Tulane is playing Ole Miss as well.
Well,
That's another top 25 matchup.
Anyway, believe
Okay.
me, when we this is why I don't report on college football, because it's like
Okay.
I get that all the teams, most of the teams are 1-0. I get it, but how do you say one team is better than the other when they both have the same record? How do you do it? I don't know. It's all about.
Well, let's see. How do we do it with our baseball rankings? Who's got the most runs?
Okay, we can break it down by points, but they don't follow that one. Those are my rankings. That the AP is on a level way above my pay grade. I'll tell you that right now.
All
Anyway,
right.
let's see what we'll iron it all out, and by next week it'll probably make sense. It's time for the meat and potatoes of Stat Boy Sports Bar. That is NFL football. But preseason is over. Kickoff is in about 48 hours when the Lions take on the Chiefs in week 1. The Chiefs are already panicking because Travis Kelce may have injured his hamstring in practice this week. His status is questionable. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
He injured his knee.
It was. Oh, I heard it was his quads. But
hyperextended his knee.
Ooh.
That ain't no joke. Jeff, go ahead and put that graphic up real quick. We'll show that these are the announced and the starting quarterbacks for week 1. Everybody is locked in except for the Cardinals because Kyler Murray is still on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform. But everybody else is A-OK and ready to go. Go Josh Allen. Because that's Dori's fantasy football player.
Yeah, he's one of my fantasy quarterbacks. Oh, okay.
But these are your starting quarterbacks for week 1. And yes, I put Sam Houston, the old wrestler, instead of Sam Howell. Thank you. I don't know why I put Sam Houston.
It's also a college.
It's for Washington. It's okay.
We lost Dori? Where's Dori?
Uh-oh.
I don't know where she went.
Dori, what happened? Okay, she's working on it.
Okay.
So we'll see how week 1 plays out, and of course, 8:00 Eastern on NBC Peacock. That kicks off the season. So what I did at the end of the preseason is I've officially started the power rankings, and these power rankings are based on only week 1, week 2, and week 3. As you can see on Cleveland and the Jets, they have stars there. Yes, we know Cleveland and the New York Jets played in the Hall of Fame game, and we know what the result was. But in my power rankings, that game didn't count. I gave everybody an equal billing. Week 1, week 2, week 3. Only 3 teams, the Jaguars, the Steelers, and the Commanders, went 3-0. The Jaguars scored the most points out of those top 3 teams. That's why they have the number 1 spot. The defending champion Chiefs, 4th place, 2-1, 95 points, the most points out of all the preseason matchups. Raider Nation at 5 at 84. LA Chargers at 74, Green Bay Packers at 72, and the Colts are at 70. The Jets are in column 2 even though they went 3-1. But otherwise they'd be in the first column. Tennessee is 2-1 and 64. The Bills. Let me say this about the Bills. I did say this last week that the Bills did not trade Alex Austin. They didn't trade him. They did release him. The news came in way late. The news I had on him was that he was still with the team. The news dropped. I reported it. I was wrong on that. He is now with the Texans. Houston picked him up on waivers. Saints and the Seahawks were tied at 61 points. Seahawks got the better ranking because they allowed less points. Buccaneers at 56, Lions at 54, Cardinals at 46, Texans at 40. The Falcons went 1-1-1, Broncos at 1-2, Cowboys at 1-2 as well, 68-66, tied with the Ravens. The Bears tied with the Giants. They both had 61 points. Dolphins are at 1-2 and 49. 49ers are at 1-2 and 40. Patriots are the last team at 1-2. Everybody else from the Browns down to the Rams. The Rams, I mean, that's just wow. I mean, they got blanked in the last preseason game. That really
also ended up preseason. Keep that in mind.
Yes, but still, you 0-3 with only 34 points. Dori's going to say the same thing about the Vikings. You know, it was only preseason, so
it's only preseason, and look at what happened last year. They didn't win anything in preseason last year, and they were the NFC champs.
So there you
go.
So
okay, not the NFC, but the NFC North champs.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go. Indeed. So that's how the power rankings are going to go each week, by wins and by points. That comes at the end of the reporting as to what happens in each game.
Now you're going to reset those for week 1, right?
Oh, yeah. Well,
okay.
yeah. I mean, everyone starts fresh, 0-0s across the board.
Right.
Detroit and Kansas City, one of them is going to be number 1 at the end of the first day because one of them has to win unless a tie takes place. Then that's really going to screw everything up. But, yeah.
We'll
we
manage.
report next week, and we get the rankings. And then also next week, of course, we report what happens in fantasy football. Our teams are set.
That's an old graphic.
That's an old graphic. Did I not send the new one? That's the one. Week 1 head-to-head matchups. It's going to be me versus Zach, Bijan Mustard versus Extreme Volunteer Bandwagon Hoppers. Dori is going to take on Tammy, Minnesota Vikings versus Michigan's Chiefs. Brandon is going to take on Greg Cherry, the Dallas Wolfpack versus the Goose Mafia. Or no, that's Raymond versus Greg Cherry, excuse me. Brandon, Emmanuel, and Sean are going to be in the first ever triple threat fantasy football matchup because initially I thought one team could sit out each week. They said, no, we want to play, so they're going to play. So at the end of the football stuff, we'll let you guys know how fantasy is doing. All our teams are locked in. Players are all questionable. The reports came out that a small handful of our players were questionable. And in our fantasy league, if they're questionable, you have the option to switch them out if you think they're going to play. If they are out, you should definitely get somebody in there to fill that spot. If they're questionable, it's a 50-50 coin flip. If you make the choice or you don't. If they play, they play. If they don't, they don't. And the news just dropped again today. Travis Kelce with a hyperextended knee. We'll see where that goes.
There you go.
That is pretty much it. We are reported everything we possibly can think of.
Well, I do want to do before we go into the.
Oh yes, you had some stuff. Go right ahead. I'm sorry. Go
plugs.
ahead.
This day in history, of course. Every once in a while, I like to throw these out there, just for fun. So it was on this day in 1960 that Cassius Clay, of course, the man who became Muhammad Ali, won the Olympic gold medal in the light heavyweight boxing competition at the Olympic Games in Rome. Just pretty cool to have a set on Ali on this day that would be on the air. And then more importantly, I think for me, in 1885, Hill Valley, California dedicated the clock that would be put in their soon-to-be completed courthouse. Among the attendees at the event were local blacksmith Emmett Brown and recent visitor to the city, Clint Eastwood. Very cool stat there, so there you go.
I like it. Let's make it a thing.
Silly as hell, but I'll take it. And also in actual wrestling stats, because wrestling's real, politics are fake. With his victory yesterday, Gunther will now officially become the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in history. So congratulations to the man once known as Walter. Why are we booing? Why?
Because last night on the show, I was very happy that Chad Gable had his fan show, but
he made his little girl cry.
Yeah, he's got 3 great kids, and I know Daddy lost, but it's still a little bit heart-wrenching to see your child cry there.
So you're telling me that a heel did heel things, and what a horrible person.
Yes,
but it was a great match.
It was a great match. It was a great match.
Absolutely.
The character side, you made the babies cry, Gunther, and that's not.
That's right. That's right. Ric Flair kissed girls and made them cry. Gunther just makes the babies cry. So there you go. But with that stat being in place, our show for JJ and I on Friday for dads ranking the top 10 Intercontinental champions of all time just got a hell of a lot easier. So there is that. So that'll be coming up Friday, 10 o'clock in the morning, because JJ's crazy and I just don't want to argue, for being honest. 10 o'clock our time, 1 p.m. Eastern, because we also have coverage of Victory Road that night. So that's what's coming up this week. Again, we're on today. JJ's Renegades Reviews, back to school all month. The Greg Cherry Show tomorrow. Our dad's episode on Friday. Talk Wrestling will probably not be on Thursday at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, because I'll be at the park clocking out at 7. And then I'm not going home. I get to go hang out with my buddy Monique because, well, she's more fun to hang out with than talking to a screen for an hour, for being brutally honest. So I'd rather go do that and Talk Wrestling, come back next week when I have no set obligations, because the next 2 days after that I'll be working, the 15th, 16th, because the mouse is in overdrive on the slave driving. Anyway, that's really it as far as the plugs
Boogie
go.
Boogie.
Yes, tonight's the first official night of the Oogie Boogie Bash, and people were already lining up as I was heading over here to the hotel. I don't envy the cast members in DCA at all tonight. I did the preview on Sunday and it was bananas. I took the pictures out because I just don't have time to go through them all, but they will be on my socials hopefully tonight, or probably tomorrow morning when I get up, because I'm too tired to do it right now and I got to get it going. But it was fun. I'd never been to one, and it was cool to check it out. So I'm glad I got to go. I'm glad it was free, to be honest with you, because it's a lot of money from what I understand. But yeah, so that's really all that's going on right now as far as on this side. Ever tired of everybody's shit? That's me. That's what I am. But of course, that like everything else is step way proof. So there you go. Zach's here, so we'll go ahead and throw his plugs up. Of course. I know you changed one of your handles, Zach, so forgive me on this graphic being not updated.
That's fine.
So
On Facebook.
follow him on Facebook. Oh, good.
Follow me on Facebook at Zach Nelson, on Twix at Fluffy Mountain God,
I like that.
at
That's good shit. I love
Instagram at DJ Mud King Official, and Phil Brooks. Stop giving my life stress.
Right.
We're not
Whether it's
talking
work or
about
not,
that. They did a
go
great
away.
job doing that last weekend. Not going to do it.
It
Over it.
just makes my brain bleed, that boy. But anyway, Mikey and Dori, here's where we can follow you two crazy kids, of course, across the socials, on the Twix, on the Facebook. Instagram handles are coming. I haven't had time to update the graphic, being honest.
That's all right.
But we're getting there. We're getting there. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. I appreciate the rush job through this because I got to be out the door here like pretty much now. So
We got a real quick positive, and I think we're good.
yes, I didn't have time to edit the graphic, Dori, so forgive me, but please go ahead and read it off, and off we go. There you go.
My pleasure. So today, your weekly delight, trying to keep that positivity out there in the universe. And just a reminder, and there's some people who need to hear this one very much, and it took me a while to get this in place with one of my former employers when we lived in Southern California, before I ever met any of this crew. Imagine this. And I pulled this, I've seen this in various places, but today I pulled it off of Instagram. Imagine this. If you had $86,400 in your account and someone stole $10 from you, would you be upset and throw all of the remaining $86,390 away in hopes of getting back at the person? Or move on and live? Right, move on and live. We all have 86,400 seconds each day. Don't let someone's negative 10 seconds ruin the remaining 86,390. Don't sweat the small stuff. Life is bigger than that. Stat boy.
Guilty, Your Honor. I love you all. We'll see you next week. Go Detroit and Kansas City. Have a great, safe game. See you on the Stat Boy out.